Have you ever been in a conversation, maybe at work or with a friend, and suddenly found yourself convinced you knew exactly what the other person was thinking or feeling? Perhaps they paused or their expression shifted slightly, and instantly a narrative formed in your mind. They think I'm wrong, or they're bored, or they're judging me. And before you know it, that assumption has colored your entire interaction, leaving you feeling anxious or misunderstood. This experience is incredibly common, and in psychology we have a name for it: mind reading. But it's not about psychic abilities, it's a cognitive distortion, an irrational thought pattern where we assume we know what others are thinking or feeling without sufficient evidence. It's a pervasive pattern, and it's a core focus within cognitive behavioral therapy, or CBT, which helps us identify and challenge these unhelpful thoughts. It's crucial, right from the start, to distinguish this from true empathic accuracy, which is about genuinely interpreting others' thoughts and feelings by observing their words, emotions, and body language. The reason this topic is so important is because of its widespread and often detrimental impact. Engaging in this kind of mind reading isn't harmless. It's closely linked to increased anxiety, depression, social anxiety, low self-esteem, and even rumination, that cycle of overthinking. It can also severely strain our personal and professional relationships, building walls where connection should be. Recognizing these negative consequences is the first step towards understanding why we need effective strategies to manage or overcome it. So, why do we do it? These baseless assumptions often stem from deeper issues like social anxiety and self-consciousness. Sometimes they're defense mechanisms, coping strategies developed perhaps in childhood, especially if we grew up in unpredictable or traumatic environments, where trying to anticipate others' reactions felt like a necessary survival skill. But the good news is, we can learn to navigate away from this pattern. Let's explore some powerful techniques for overcoming mind reading. The very first step is recognition and identification. You can't change what you don't acknowledge. Start to notice when you're making assumptions about someone's thoughts or intentions. A great way to do this is by journaling. Jot down your thoughts and emotions, especially when you feel that familiar pang of certainty about what someone else must be thinking. Just the act of writing it down creates a space between you and the thought. Once you've identified a mind-reading thought, the next crucial step is challenging those thoughts and seeking evidence. Actively question your assumptions. Ask yourself, what concrete evidence do I really have to support this thought? Often, you'll find there's very little. Then consider alternative explanations. Could their pause simply mean they're thinking deeply, rather than judging you? Could their quietness be due to a long day, not disinterest? Robert Leahy, a respected figure in CBT, is noted for his work on challenging these cognitive distortions, encouraging us to look for the facts. Perhaps the most powerful antidote to mind reading is direct communication and clarification. Instead of making assumptions, practice replacing them with direct inquiry. If you're unsure, you might say, "I'm noticing you're quiet tonight. Is everything okay?" Or, "When you said X, I wondered if you meant Y. Could you clarify for me?" This requires courage and vulnerability, but it builds trust and fosters genuinely healthier interactions. Practicing self-disclosure can also help, as it encourages others to be more open in return. As Don Miguel Ruiz wisely reminds us, much of our suffering comes from making assumptions.
Another vital tool is mindfulness and emotional regulation. Mindfulness teaches us to observe our thoughts without judgment. Instead of getting swept away by the story our mind is creating about what someone else is thinking, we can simply note the thought, acknowledge its presence, and then let it pass without investing in it. Incorporate relaxation techniques like deep breathing, and even focus on positive affirmations to gently steer your mind away from anxious assumptions. Finally, try a cost-benefit analysis. Take a moment to evaluate the emotional costs of clinging to your mind-reading thoughts. What anxiety, stress, or relationship strain does it cause? What are the perceived benefits? Perhaps a sense of control or preparation for a negative outcome. Often you'll find the costs far outweigh any fleeting imagined benefits, which can help motivate you to let these thoughts go. Now, let's address some common areas of discussion and potential misunderstanding. A central challenge is distinguishing genuine intuition or empathic accuracy from this cognitive distortion. Healthy intuition relies on observable cues, their words, their tone, their body language. Mind reading, on the other hand, involves baseless assumptions. We often struggle to tell if our gut feelings are reliable insights or just our own projections. The key differentiator is evidence. Intuition often has subtle evidence. Mind reading usually doesn't. There's also a debate about whether we can truly stop mind reading or if we should aim to manage it. For deeply ingrained defense mechanisms, especially those from childhood, completely ceasing the pattern can be very difficult. In these cases, the goal shifts to managing these tendencies, responding to them in healthier ways, and developing resilience, rather than striving for an absolute absence of the thought. The question of self-help versus professional therapy also arises. While many self-help strategies like journaling and challenging thoughts are incredibly effective, if persistent or severe mind reading is significantly impacting your life, especially if linked to anxiety or depression, professional intervention through CBT can provide tailored support and deeper insight. And yes, to a certain extent, humans do infer things in communication. A certain level of guessing is often unavoidable. The problem isn't the initial inference, but when we cling to negative assumptions as undeniable truths. The key is being open to being wrong and actively seeking clarification, rather than blindly trusting potentially harmful assumptions. One final point. Let's be clear that when we talk about mind reading in psychology, we are not referring to speculative mind reading technology. This discussion is purely about a common human psychological cognitive distortion. The journey to stop mind reading is really a journey of self-awareness and intentional communication. It's about learning to pause, question your assumptions, and seek clarity directly from others, rather than relying on an unreliable internal narrative. It involves recognizing that your initial thought is just that, a thought, not necessarily a fact about another person's internal world. The future in addressing mind reading will continue to emphasize management strategies, especially for those deeply ingrained patterns. There will be an ongoing need for clearer differentiation between genuine empathy and this distortion, empowering individuals to discern healthy intuition from baseless assumptions. And remember, whether through dedicated self-help or with the guidance of professional cognitive behavioral therapy, the commitment to these practices will significantly enhance your mental well-being, improve your relationships, and foster a more open, honest, and less anxious way of experiencing the world.
By taking these steps, you're not just changing a thought pattern, you're building a stronger, more authentic connection with yourself and with everyone around you.